Hi guys, it's Miss Humphrey back with another math video. Yesterday we talked about being able to estimate with customary and metric length. And the purpose of that is to be able to get an image in our mind of how long foot, yard, mile, inches are, as well as meters, centimeters, kilometers. So today what we're going to do is we are going to be taking those units of length and doing conversions. So I'm about to show you something that I need you to copy down into your notes. So only the black writing, I need you to copy down this black writing into your notes. So I'm going to hold this here for a second, but pause the video and go ahead and write this down in your notes. All right. I hope that you paused and you're coming back to join me now and that you have this in your notes, and I'm going to kind of talk you through what it is that I wrote down. So these are the conversions for length in both customary and metric. So in customary, 1 foot equals 12 inches. So we talked about this yesterday, about what is a foot and about what is an inch, and 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, and 1 mile is equal to 1,760 yards. I'm not going to ask you to use that one that much, but I do want you to write it down. The most important ones to remember is 1 foot is 12 inches and 1 yard is 3 feet. Now the even easier one is the metric, which is that 1 meter is 100 centimeters and 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Why might I say this one's easier? What do we know about those numbers that end in zeros? What can we do with them? Our zeros trick. So now that we have this information in our notes, we're going to do a few problems in both customary and metric where we are asked to convert. So I'm going to start with customary, which is actually the harder one, but stick with me, we're going to do it together. So let's start with the first one. It says 2 feet is equal to how many inches? So I'm going to come back up here, and I know 1 foot is 12 inches. So if 1 foot is 12, how many inches would 2 feet be? What do I need to do? If I know 1 foot is 12, how am I going to figure out 2 feet? I'm going to multiply, because I'm going to have 1 foot that's 12, the other foot that's 12, and repeated addition is multiplication. So down here in my workbox, I'm going to do 12 times 2, and you might already know this. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2. So if 1 foot is 12 inches, 2 feet is 24 inches. And that's all that problem's asking you to do. So I multiplied 12 by 2 because I wanted to know 2 feet. Let's try the next one. 7 yards is how many feet? Well, I know 1 yard is 3 feet. So if I want to know 7 yards, that's going to be 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet. Repeated addition is multiplication. So I'm going to do 3 feet, not by 1 yard, I want to know by 7 yards. So let's do that math down here. 7 times 3 is 21. So that means 7 yards is equal to 21 feet. Because 1 yard is 3 feet, so 7 yards is 7 times 3, which is 21. Then this last one is pretty tricky. 4 yards is how many inches? Be careful and look what I'm asking. 4 yards. I don't have anything up here that tells me how many inches are in a yard. So I need to use the information I do have. Do I know how to go from yard to feet? Yeah, so let's do that first. 4 yards is how many feet? 1 yard is 3, so I'm going to do 4 times 3. Because I want 4 yards times, each yard is 3, 3, 3, 3. So I'm going to do 4 times 3, which is 12 feet. So I know 4 yards is 12 feet. Do I know how to get from feet to inches? Yeah, I multiply it by 12. So I need to do 12 times 12. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. 12. And I get 144. So to summarize that last one, I wanted to go from yards to inches. I didn't know how to do that, so I first went from yards to feet, and then I knew how to get from feet to inches was to multiply by 12. So to get from foot to inches, you multiply by 12. To get from yard to feet, you multiply by 3. And to get from mile to yard, you would multiply by 1,760, which I'm not going to ask you to do. So having these notes is going to be really important because it tells you what number you need to multiply by. Now, the metric, in my opinion, is much easier. And I'm going to teach you even a little song and trick that might help. When I was your age and I was in school, I learned this song and it really helped me, which these are all of the metric conversions. And the song goes, milli, centi, deci, deca, hecca, kilo. Sing that song to yourself over and over again, and when you get a test, you can write this at the top of the page. Milli, centi, deci, deca, hecca, kilo. That's going to help you remember the order, and every time you go from one to the next, you are moving your decimal or adding a 0. So let me show you what I mean. I know 2 kilometers, or I want to know 2 kilometers is how many meters? Well, if I know 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters, how many zeros do I need to add to 2 to find out how many meters I have? Look, I went from 1 to 1,000, so I'm going to go from 2 to 2,000. So I'm going to flip my board so it's easier for me to write. So to get from kilometer to meter, you multiply by 1,000, which just means you need to add 3 zeros. And I'm going to show you what that means here. Kilo, I go back 1, 2, 3, and that X is meter. So if I'm at kilometer, I go back 3, which means I'm going to add 3 zeros. Let's go from meter to centimeter. From meter to centimeter, sorry, this board's hard for me to navigate today. From meter to centimeter, if I'm at meter and I want to go to centimeter, I go back 1, 2. So let's think about what that means. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. I'm going from centimeter to meter, so I move 2. So how many zeros am I going to add? 2, which makes sense. I had 1 and I turned it to 100. I have 5 and I'm going to turn it to 500. So from meter to centimeter, I add 2. And I'm going to do that again on here. I'm going from centimeter to meter, I would add 2. Or if I, like this last one, when I was going from meter to kilometer, I added 1, 2, 3. So however many scoops you do is how many zeros. So let's try kilometer to centimeter. And I don't have anything up here that tells me what to do. So I'm going to start at where I want to be, which is centimeter. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many zeros am I going to add to that 1? I'm going to add 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I end up with 100,000. And this makes sense because to get from kilometer to meter, I added 3. And then to get from meter to centimeter, I add 2 more. So if I want to go from kilometer to centimeter, I need to add 3 and then 2 more, which ends up being 5 zeros. All right, I'm going to put some questions like this for both customary and metric in a Google form for you to practice. The most important thing is to remember, if you took these notes, is to multiply by the second number to get your answer, okay? If you have any questions, join me tomorrow in my Google Hangout or send me a message and I'll get back to you at any time. Bye guys, I hope you enjoy the nice day today before it rains.